I've learned to wait until everybody progress. All right, so we'll go ahead and call to order the Columbia 911 Communication District's Board of Directors July meeting order here at 1 p.m. For July 25th, 2024, members present, right from left, Shelley Hennessy, Henry Heimmuller, Rob Anderson, Bruce Holsey, and Jeff Blatt.
Staff, we have Nathan Hughes, Mark Levine, Mary Jo Beck, Mickey Nichols, and Nell Hooper will be right back. I'm Mike Fletcher.
And he said no one else virtually.
And then we have Mr. Peterkin, General Counsel on the scene.
Are there any public comments? Hearing none, move on. Any additions to the agenda?
None from staff.
Okay, I think. Board member Heimmuller advised me he may have to leave early depending on how late we go, so we will move the executive session up until after all of our official appointments. The only change. So moving forward, I will go ahead and open nominations for board president.
Mr. President, can you, Madam Chair, can you, have staff remind us of who holds which decisions and who you go?
Yeah. So it's currently Rob Anderson's president, Chris Holsey, vice president, current secretary, Shelley Hennessy, treasurer, Hugh Henry, and Jeff is member at.
I would move that we, if everyone is willing, that we just, point the same slate for next year.
It's been moved to do a slate appointment of the board officers as read. Second, right? Seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. And again, for record, that's President Rob Anderson, Vice President Bruce Holsey, Secretary Shelley Hennessy, Treasurer will be Henry Heimmuller, and Member at Large, Jeff. Moving on, appointments of the board standing committees. And with that, I would look at entertaining a motion to stick with the current committees then. Which awards and recognition is Henry and Jeff, you got put in there. With alternate being Shelley Hennessy. Personnel committee is currently Henry, Shelley with myself as the alternate. User services is Bruce and Jeff with Shelley as the alternate. And facilities, we did not need last year.
This year, you think I guess I don't believe so. Well, in that case,
I should say, does anyone request a change for the draft?
that we, reenact the standing committees, as they are there.
Is there a second? Right, it's been moved and seconded to remain with the current standing committees as present. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's it. Official appointments. Comments on the name? So official appointments first is then legal services. Currently is Miller Nash for labor and Peter Kenberg is for general counsel.
Mr. Chair, unless there's a reason staff wise, from our administrator that, any of these should be considered for change. I would suggest that we, reappoint Miller Nash for labor, Peter Kenbergus for general counsel. Foley Rogers is our auditing firm, and Egan Hamilton is our insurance agent.
Motion, is there a second? I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to stick with the appointments as standing. Any discussion? Actors though, Polly Rogers, we used them last year.
And we have direction from the board to work on presenting to you a list of narrowed down auditing firms. We are on that task. And we had, I think, 50 plus.
Should we wait on that particular appointment until after you finish that research?
I'm seeing no, because we do have an audit in place right now that is taking place. So it'd be best to wait until after that is complete, or at least during the process, we get closer to the end that contemplate a change. Right now, that would cause disarray.
Yeah.
My question on that is, with Polly Rogers, I know we use them at the fire district. It seems like we always get a different auditor. Is that the same case for you guys?
So
That actual doing the work.
so I had asked that question because Ursula was who was dealt with prior to my arrival, and she is currently who I am dealing with. So I asked her that question. I was under the impression that we got to move around, and she has switched her team up, but she's still lead. So her team are new, but she's still lead on it.
Just quick question.
Is that one of those things, or you said we've talked about in the past, that kind of best practice recommendations was to change up on occasion to have franchise looking things. You heard that Polly Rogers, they did kind of switch their team up a little bit, so there were some new eyes on it. But also that ever since COVID hit, everyone was behind and it's been kind of tough for the auditors.
We did with.
From the research that I did, as far back as I could go, that's the only thing that I find very journey. Yeah.
Been pretty much forever, but one of the things that they always did do was they put different staff on it every year, and they did the same thing. When they were the firm the county had, they had a different, there may be one person from last year's team on there to create some continuity, but there was always new eyes.
At least it's not the one single individual each and every time. My question, is there any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next is appointment of the advisory committee, and I do not have that list in front of me, unfortunately.
Have it, you guys. Getting people up till last.
And coming from staff recommendation is to stick with the same as is for right now.
This is
Entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve as far as I'm not going down this list, but it appears that everything that is highlighted in yellow needs to be appointed with that. I move that we appoint or reappoint everyone that is highlighted in yellow on this document to our advisory committee.
For a second. And these are the same people that are currently on it, right? Or any other discussion?
Just clarification, so the ones in yellow. What are the ones in yellow?
The terms are staggered. And so their terms were expiring.
Oh, I see, right.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adoption of the 2004-2005 meeting schedule. Traditionally, every year, it's been on the fourth Thursday. 9 a.m. The current meetings everyone's involved in, usually yours is the busiest calendar.
Well,
Is there
it's
any,
debatable, but we make adjustments either based on wishes or I do have conflicts once a quarter. Very gracious to hold them 1 p.m. because I have a 9 a.m. work. Need to attend.
so right now this block works good for you.
It works good for me, it works good for staff, it's your discretion.
Was that we adopt our meeting schedule being every fourth Thursday at 9 a.m. as it is.
Their second. Second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It is. I think before we go through the minutes and financial reports, was going to go ahead and go into executive session, as previously mentioned, while everyone is present. Therefore, we will go into executive session under ORS 192.660, section 2, subsection D for labor negotiations, and ORS 192.660-2H legal counsel at 13:12. Right, the lobby is back open. And so we have exited executive session at 2:18. And we are now going back into regular board meeting at 2:19. The clock just ticked. We left off at the agenda, the approval for the June 27th, 2024 meeting. This agenda, and approval of minutes.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
on the agenda, we're at that, yeah, we left off at.
I'm with you.
Sorry.
No, I read it. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Their second. Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the June 27th regular meeting minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Financial reports.
So this would be year end. We are obviously, our benchmark is going to be 0%. Our general fund ended our year end at 27%. So we are in good shape there. We did get a little bit of a surprise. Our forest funds in July of 23, we received 48,000 plus from our forest funds, but we received just right at the end of June, another almost $85,000 for our forest funds. So that was unexpected. And a nice additive to our bump at the end there. Does anyone have any questions about the reports?
The only thing that I would point out is on the check register
Yes.
or the expenditure report. You signed that with the wrong date.
Oh.
Like September 24th.
The happy stuff.
I will get that corrected. Thank you.
Outside of that, I move that we accept financial reports as presented.
Copy. There's a second. It's been moved and seconded to approve both the budget report and expenditures report as presented.
Can I have one more minute?
Yes, those questions. Go ahead.
Sorry. I handed out this clear go document, and Jeff, if I didn't put one there, I'm sorry. Okay. I had a gentleman call me. This is a very interesting program. obviously we would have to pay for it, and I did include what he quoted me for that. But what it does is our budget book that we submit for our award. This program creates that entire thing based on the requirements to win that award. And it's a lot of money. I'm not for or against this. I just wanted to bring it to you. I don't know. I know some of you, it seemed that award was very important. And I am willing to go that extra mile either with this program or just Mary Jo and I getting it done. Either way, but this looked like it was something that was very interesting that they even have it created, something like this. So I wanted to at least give it to you for your review. If you are interested and you want me to pursue our award in the future, I would then like to maybe ask for you to consider this in the future, but y'all let me know how you want to move forward with that.
Real quick, there's a motion on the table. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then was there any other comments on the Go Clear thing? Mike, your thoughts?
It's really,
Information?
have no input.
I think they've been doing a great job without this for quite some odd years, but I don't know. I mean, I need more information, I guess.
Yeah, and I can do that. I know the time that it takes to build that book is very extensive, and in listening to this guy's sales speech, made it sound like basically I'm just plugging in my numbers and everything else that Mary Jo would normally do, all of the wonderful charts and graphs and everything just generates. So I do think it would be a really big time saver in doing that, but
Be interesting to talk to some of our comrades in the world out there that are using it, see if it really does work.
I can do that.
Maybe some sort of breakdown, an estimate as to how much Mary Jo's time is spent creating that. And then put a number to that versus the number we have here to kind of see.
That's a quick little FYI about it. You might be hearing more about it in the near future.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Now moving on, operations manager report.
Did you do expenditures?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
There's a slate.
thank you.
Get them all together.
Okay, thank you.
However, I don't recall you calling for the motion, calling for the vote. Myself, did you guys hear it?
Okay.
I apologize, I must have tuned out.
You kind of did it right at the end of.
Right in Denver, okay, I apologize.
Let's do this. Just want to make sure.
Okay.
Ops. Sorry.
Yes, some update on our staffing and hiring. We have a hiring group that we're still accepting applications through tomorrow, and we're still getting some in. We had 6 interviews on Monday and gave 5 conditional job offers. We have 23 applicants so far in that process, and we're always hiring laterals. We have 3 that are in training, and all 3 are doing well. Madison and Ashley M. We have 2 Ashleys in training at the same time. They graduated DPSST on June 28th, and Madison actually received the DPSST Victor G. Atia, thank you. Outstanding Student Award, which is a big deal. Just if any of you aren't aware, this award is presented to each basic training class to the student who displays exceptional professionalism and ethics, as well as a positive attitude throughout their basic training. The student selected is evaluated on demonstrated leadership, teamwork, and willingness and ability to shoulder responsibility, academic standing, performance and survival skills, and overall health and fitness. This is the highest honor that a student can receive from the Department of Public Safety Standards and Training. So we are all extremely proud of Madison. And she is almost exactly ending her call taking block and moving to skill build, and then is going to move on to radios. The other Ashley, she's the one that has lateral experience, 11 years. It's just that with the lapse in her certifications, she's got to jump through some hoops before she can be certified again. We all thought that the county fair went really well as far as our booth and getting education out. There was a lot of people that walked up and talked to us, and we're grateful for staff and board members and admin who all man the booth. We are planning for a staff barbecue in August. All of you should have received an invitation to that. Please let me know if you did not. And do you guys have any questions for me?
What's the date on that again? I did get the invitation.
Sure, it's Saturday, August 24th at 3 p.m.
We'll be out.
Oh, bummer.
Any questions for Oz? To technical manager report.
The HVAC for our radio site was signed. We are just waiting for them to get the units delivered and get all the permits and the cranes and stuff in order to get that installed. Admin phones, we continue to meet with Pacific Office. We're looking around August 14th for that install. CrowdStrike, most of you probably heard because it was a pretty big event. But on the night of July 18th, I started getting a lot of phone calls from our staff saying, hey, so-and-so is reporting outages. And, you know, luckily we did not use this software. But what happened was CrowdStrike pushed a bad update, which caused Windows computers to go into a boot loop, which would go into a blue screen of death and crash. Any questions on that?
I've just never heard the term blue screen of death.
It's a real thing.
Yes. An official term.
I will tell you that while we didn't go down, some of our neighboring agencies, i.e. Portland, did experience. And I've explained before that we belong to a system that ties our CAD system to 8 other CAD systems in the metro region. And that portions of that system went down, not for us, but for like Portland, Cressa, Clark County, both of those systems were affected.
And
We were not.
before we knew exactly what the issue was, a lot of that was on purpose, just in case something had gotten infected. We started severing connections to the outside world.
So good job.
Thanks. I did a whole lot.
Good planning. All right.
Thank you. Anyone have any other questions for Nathan? Hearing none, we'll go to old business.
Old business, the radio system, there's nothing new to report regarding Meisner, other than Michael Peterkin and I are working with ODF. Surprised if anything changes there. Next gen radio project, not much to report, although I did attend Senator Wyden's town hall and explained our situation, where we are with both the levy, the new radio system. He has pledged his support to help us, or at least explore options for us. In fact, while I've been sitting here, his staff is emailing me, so they are reaching out to us, so I appreciate that. Finishing up the microwave projects. This last week, the link between Corey Hill and Plattskanai was turned up, and it is working great for day wireless, best it's ever been. So happy about that. M&I is on site in this building next week. They're conducting training for the day wireless staff who support our system. And day wireless is going to be their first line out if there's problems with the microwave, and then the day-to-day maintenance of the system is being contracted from M&I to day wireless. those. So just keeping you apprised on that. That's really old business. Is there any questions about anything in the old times? No? Okay, moving on, new business. The district did conduct an invitation to bid for a public affairs, communications, PR firm, whatever you would like to call it. That closed Monday evening. I'm sorry, Tuesday evening. That's correct, Tuesday evening. Mr. Peterkin and I opened the proposal yesterday, and we worked through those most of the day. So that's why you're just getting them today, because we were working on them till after 4 o'clock yesterday. We did receive 3 bids. They're all qualified bidders, Guard Communications, Coastline, and Sitten public relation firms. Mr. Peterkin and I do have a suggestion recommendation for the board. We want to give you the opportunity to take the time to review these. If you want us to table it until next month, or a special meeting, or your pleasure. Did interview them all. That's with 2 of them face to face. There were mostly all very similar. Only one was a little bit out of the price of the other 2, so we were third, but they're all quality companies.
Was staff ready to make a recommendation?
I'd be happy to.
Well, let's hear what staff has to say, and then we'll see how the board feels, if they're ready to make a motion or if they want to.
Sure. The ranking was, Coastline was ranked first, Sitten Strategies was second, and Guard was third. And again, they're all very well qualified. They are basically the same outline, statement of work. The only reason Guard was at the third place was just their initial price. It's higher than the other 2. Coastline, the reason they rose to the top was based on price, services, experience, and fit. And what I mean by that is all 3 of these vendors work with small agencies, public safety agencies. Coastline actually provided in their proposal examples of that work. And they have a long-standing relationship with Clackamas County Fire District 1 with very similar issues that we experience as a special district, and saw examples of their work. So our recommendation is to go with Coastline. And then if the board approves that, then Peterkin and I will work on the final contract. Contract that was in the ITB was a draft, just because we didn't have scopes of work and prices and name of the company, obviously, so.
They miss, Mike Peterkin there, is there something you wanted to add?
This is a personal services responsive proposal that is before you. I concur with Mike that we looked at this very carefully and looked at the experience, expertise, and education of the individuals within Coastline who would provide the public affairs services that were set out in the ITB. And so that's, so if the board is to proceed, then that type of finding is appropriate. If the board feels that it has the information to make a decision, or as Mike pointed out, you could certainly interview them. You could look at it further you have lots of discretion here. We're just waiting for your direction.
And what is the pleasure of the board? You guys feel like staff is vetted and you're ready to move forward, or did you want time to?
Oh, we dug into it. I'm fine with it.
My only thought is, November's coming and we need to get messaging out, as clearly and succinctly as possible and probably as quickly as possible. And, I think that, getting folks working on our behalf from a public relations standpoint is very important. So I'm also comfortable with that. I mean, they all met the qualifications. And and I did notice when you first passed these out that these guys had, you know, examples, which, you know, visual, they're much easier to follow, so.
And Henry, I might add that I did follow up and check on Guard. They're a very good company, and I did check on one of their sources, and they got a good recommendation. And so again, all three bidders are qualified, and the board is really looking at the best fit, as Mike said, and what works for the district. And I think that the experience of Coastline working with Clackamas Fire was an important consideration.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we go with Coastline with the recommendation that we've gotten from Mike.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to move forward with services from Coastline.
So just for the board's reminder, what we will be doing based on your vote is we'll offer a intent to award to Coastline. There is a process that all the vendors have. I believe it's 7 days.
We've got to get the contract back to them, and they're not going to change their pricing, but we would like to get the formalized contract back to them.
But the other vendors have a 7-day period to protest. Is that correct? The right number? Is it 7 or 10 days?
Yes, and I think there's also a motion to add this to new business because the lateness of this, I don't think it got onto the agenda. So I think that the first motion is to add this to a new business. And then at the board's discretion.
It was on this agenda.
It is. It's on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
So to clarify, is that motion then, is that just to enter an agreement to initiate, communicate with them for a contract for final approval?
Well, if the board gives us direction to move forward, it will be a letter of intent to award the contract to Coastline. That starts a clock for any protest that may be filed. In the meantime, Peterkin and I will work with Coastline on contract development.
And so we'll see the final contract before it's
Yes.
forward.
But it will be awarded
Correct.
before our next board meeting.
Yes.
We'll see a final draft of it, but
Yes.
a yes vote would get the process happening and they'll be moving forward in the meantime, right?
Correct. Our intent.
Any other questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Nothing else for the board.
There is no other new business. Agenda items for the August 22nd meeting. Anyone have any requests for the next agenda? Hearing none. Any other business? How about member comments? I was gonna call people individually this time. I was gonna.
No, I enjoyed working the booth. Work with Nathan, work with Mary Jo, Vicky was there as well, Mike.
Welcome back, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll be back and sorry I wasn't able to spend any time at the booth, but I'm a
We saw you passing by.
guy come fair time. It's.
Saw you driving the tractor going by, or you were busy.
But you guys, it was nice to have 911 there and well represented, so. Saw a lot of frisbee looking things and stuff all around the fairgrounds, so
They were super good fans too.
yeah, there a lot of that, a lot of bling out there, sounds good.
I got to meet a couple of the dispatchers that I had met before that were working the booth. Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Speaking of dispatchers in there, would it be possible to put up like a radio or something or a scanner or some kind of something so that they could be hearing what's going on live? You know, when
Yes.
people come up to the booth,
Yes.
because somebody was asking me that the other day,
Good idea.
they said something about, man, is it always that quiet? And I said, they're not dispatching in that booth. And so I explained to them that, you know, that was just represented, but they actually thought that that was what was going on. And I said, well, you know, I'll mention that maybe we could have that going on in the background or something so that they could hear some live stuff. So
Great
just something to think about.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank you guys all for working the booth and being there, and sorry I couldn't be there to help, but family comes first sometimes, so. Appreciate everything you guys did.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Hearing none, we will be adjourned at 2:44.
Minute spare before I was,